So let me just ask a few questions because you guys are either live in the avenues, sell houses in the avenues, or have clients that have. What is like your actual favorite part about the avenues?
I love the houses are super like Victorian style, so they're just really beautiful, and then I love how it's like so walkable around here.
Very true.
Yeah.
Where are you walking to? What's around here?
There's parks. You could walk on Capitol Hill. It's really pretty up there. They do yoga in the morning, like 2 days a week on Capitol Hill.
Free yoga.
That is cool. I have noticed there's certain like architectural styles here that you really don't find anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned the Victorian. What are some of the other ones that you'd say are really common in this area?
I would say upper avenues. They have a lot of like mid-modern.
Yeah, mid-century modern.
That's true.
And the upper avenues, like you'll go, you're like super high up on the hill, so you have stunning views of the valley, which is really cool. Also, I feel like you're so close to downtown, so it's kind of like you're in a beautiful like neighborhood area, but you're also so close to like downtown access, which is really cool.
Close to downtown, really close to like 9th and 9th.
Yep.
Right? You just made a video about that.
Yeah.
We're like not too far from. And a lot of similar commonalities like walkability, local restaurants.
You have quick access up to University of Utah too.
That's true. So the college is really close by. What would you say makes the avenues unique compared to other popular suburbs like Sugar House or Liberty Park or Capitol Hill, even though it's close by?
I feel like the homes mainly, like the homes are a lot older, but they're like refinished in a beautiful way, and they're just like the style. I don't think you find much of like the Victorian style really anywhere else in Salt Lake.
True.
Especially where it's like almost every house on the street is some type of Victorian build. It's not just like one-offs here and there.
That's
and then
true.
also just like the hilliness. You almost feel like you're like in San Francisco or something.
It's got the San Fran vibe because super steep hills as you're like going from the avenues to the upper avenues. Okay, that's true. What have your clients said of like when you've showed a house or sold a house in this area?
I feel like the backyard situation is the hardest, depending on the client's needs and how high up you go in the avenues, because some of the lower avenues, I feel like the backyard spaces are really small.
Yeah.
And so if you have like animals or if you want a garden, that can be a little bit of a game changer.
Yeah. How big would you say the average size lot is? Like 1/10 of an acre, 0.12 acres, something like that?
Yeah.
Probably.
So not necessarily going to get like a 1/4 acre, like huge yard,
Yeah.
but the style of the home probably makes up for it.
Yeah.
The walkability of the neighborhood. And then what are some of the challenges that you, like, because you mentioned older homes. So what have been some of the challenges that you've seen people buying a house that's older?
I feel like I've shown a lot of homes that are like older that aren't as refinished, and there's kind of a lot of like issues with like foundation or something like that. It can get a little sketchy.
Well, because some of these were built like early 1900s.
Literally, there's some that 1800s.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
Yeah.
So pre-World War I era homes that might not have updated electrical, plumbing.
Roof.
Yeah.
Sewer issues.
Specifically sewer issues is a big one.
Oh yeah.
But specifically with the basements, you mentioned the basements. Are they like livable
Lower
spaces?
ceiling heights.
Okay, I was gonna say, am I the only one who's like hitting their heads when they do showings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely have that, and really steep stairs. Staircases
down.
aren't very wide in a lot of the homes.
That's true. Maybe
Going
that was just a
down to the
thing when they
basement.
build houses back then. It's
Yeah.
like, let's make these super steep. So, do you often see like finished basements in the area, or is it usually like unfinished because it's not really usable square footage?
I've sold a home on like 8th Ave, so it's right above like Memory Grove Park.
Yeah.
And it was super beautiful. It was an older home. I think it was like early 1900s. It was like restored, but the basement was restored too. They actually like did a kitchenette down there and stuff.
Oh,
so
nice.
it was really nice. So I feel like it's hit or miss. Some are
Yeah.
unfinished short basements, but then you get some that are nicer basements.
What have you noticed about does this area tend to attract certain type of people?
I feel like a lot of people that work downtown want to be up here and want that neighborhood feel still are up here. And then
That
maybe
makes sense.
I actually know personally some like empty nesters that live up
Okay.
here. They just like having the views and just like the overall vibes of the avenues.
I had a client looking in the avenues that wanted to be able to ride their bike up to the University of Utah.
Okay.
So they wanted to be a little bit more east.
So
but
proximity
still
to
avenues.
the campus, proximity downtown,
Yeah.
that attracts people specifically based on geography, based on location.
Yeah.
And the views you mentioned. Okay. So Memory Grove Park is where we are right now. A lot of people bring their dog here,
Yes.
and you bring Wilson here.
It's his favorite. He loves it.
And Brooke, you said you had a wedding here?
Yeah,
Or
my cousin
your
actually
cousin's
got
wedding?
married like right here.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So they allow weddings in the park, which is pretty cool. So what is the best part about this particular park? Like this part of the avenues?
I think the best part is for the dogs, honestly. It doesn't feel like a dog park, like it's for people too,
Yeah.
but it's nice because as you keep walking, there's a trail that's shaded
Yeah.
and you can take your dog off leash and there's a whole river that runs through it. And so the
that's cool.
dogs play with each other and like,
There's also like no one here. Like it's super
yeah, there's
quiet.
nobody here right now.
Very peaceful park.
Probably the cleanest park in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, it's
I'd
super
say-
clean.
That's important.
Yeah.
Cleanest park in Salt Lake City.
I think
Sounds like
so.
it's very dog friendly.
Yeah.
I like too that you're still so close to like City Creek and downtown, but
Yeah.
all of the trees kind of hide that, so you feel like
True.
you're away from the city.
When you talk about walkability, obviously we have this park. What are some of the other like best places that people could walk to if you lived in the avenues?
There's a couple pickleball court parks like randomly throughout the avenues. I don't know like specific names, but if you just drive around the avenues, you'll see like some random parks that have pickleball courts that people
Nice.
are always there at.
Okay.
There's little restaurants that are like really family. Like I feel like there's more family-owned restaurants that aren't like chains in the avenues.
Yeah.
Like local businesses.
And
Okay.
coffee shops,
Coffee
all
shops.
over.
It tends to be
Yeah,
a more
It's
expensive
probably
neighborhood,
one
right?
of the most
Yep.
expensive, I would say.
What do you think makes it so expensive?
Location.
Location.
Location, views, depending.
Yeah, because you can't really like build in the avenues unless you're really high up. It's already kind of established.
So limited supply.
So the supply and demand, people who stay in the avenues usually stay for a while.
Interesting. So maybe
Yeah.
not a lot of resale opportunities. Like when a house does hit the market,
People will jump quick.
people will jump quick
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
it because it's so rare.
Yeah.
Okay.
History,
Yeah,
lots of history.
that's true. So it's a historic neighborhood. Like you have the history and the culture behind it that it's not like it's going to go away anytime soon.
Yeah.
I feel like everything's so like there's not another neighborhood that's this walkable and so close knit.
Yeah.
That's surprised because you live in Daybreak. I'm surprised to hear you say that.
You know.
Top two.
I'm talking about in
It's
Salt
top
Lake,
two.
like
Okay, it's
Salt
Salt
Lake
Lake.
City.
True.
Yeah.
So if you want the walkability of Daybreak, but you still want to be
Yeah.
downtown, it's probably the avenues.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Last question. What are things that you would tell people that they should be aware of?
I feel like garage space is a lot different in the avenues. You see a lot of carports or detached
point.
garages.
Okay.
You're not seeing a lot of where the garage is attached to the property.
Or
So
even
in
a two-car.
winters, yeah.
Yeah.
So in the winters, that can be a little bit of an issue.
I would say street parking too.
Yeah.
And the streets are really narrow in the avenues compared to
Okay.
other places.
Narrow streets, you might have to be forced to park on the street more. Probably don't have a driveway or much of a driveway.
Also, one of my friends lives up in the upper Avs, and like when when it snows or there's a snowstorm, they literally can't leave their house because because of the hills.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's kind of sketchy because there's like stop signs on some street. It kind of gives me anxiety, like driving,
Yeah.
because you really have to look. Some streets have stop signs, some don't, and yeah,
All of
lot
you
of-
agreed with that, by the
Yeah.
way. That
Yep.
might have been
Yeah.
the first
Yep.
point that all of you were like, yep,
yeah.
snow in the wintertime,
Yeah.
steep hills, so
of
probably need
one-ways.
probably need four-wheel or all-wheel drive if you
Yeah,
live in the avenues. Absolutely. As our food arrives, this is perfect timing because people that are unfamiliar with the avenues, maybe they're thinking about relocating here or they've heard of the avenues but they're not quite sure what to expect. Bomb food, that's what you can expect. Not only that, but it's like in the neighborhood, you could literally walk to a lot of these restaurants. And right now we're at Proper.
Avenues proper.
Avenues Proper. Okay, there we go. Avenues Proper. And yeah, food's awesome. It's local. These aren't like chains that they have in the neighborhoods here. It's all like local breweries, local food, local vendors, which is really cool. A unique aspect of the avenues. Controversial question. What is your least favorite part about the avenues?
How expensive. I want to live here. It's
Yeah.
so expensive.
Super expensive.
Yeah.
Okay. In 3 words, describe the avenues to someone who's never been here before. 3 words, 3 words. It took us 10 minutes to come up with this, but the 3 words that we're going to use to describe the avenues is historic, views.
Local eateries. Local.
That's not a word. What was it?
Like location, like prime,
Okay.
prime location.
Location, historic, and views.
Yeah.
That's what you can expect from the houses. There's a reason why we chose the avenues as a neighborhood spotlight for this video. When you think of Salt Lake City, the avenues has to be the first neighborhood you think of. It's historic, it's walkable, it has some of the coolest real estate and architecture around, and it's very unique. It's not like any other suburb in Salt Lake City. So if you thought this video was helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're gonna give you more neighborhood spotlights like this, and we hope we helped educate you a little bit on the avenues. If you have specific questions or if you want a tour of a house on the avenues, make sure to reach out to us. Our contact information is below, and we'll talk to you soon.